from the outback to the battlefield. He's fought for flags and burned them too. One eye on the prize, one hand on the trigger. Major Bludd, mercenary commander, Cobra's enforcer. You don't hire him to win. You hire him to finish it. Down in the shadows, a mercenary's calling with a mechanical arm and a knife pad so enthralling. Major Bludd's a name, Cobra's his game. He's a sniper in the night, ready to take aim. Eye of the Cobra, never backs down. Sniper in the night, take him out with just one round. Australian accent, smooth as can be, but his poetry ain't quite what it seems. From SAS to the Legion, he's bled across the map. Process server by day, nighttime brings the trap. Wanted on charges from Libya to Reissued, but catching blood, that's pure amnesia. Boom! He's got verses that rhyme and a heart full of lead. Read sonnets at night about the battles he's bled. Slap a clip in your Uzi, he says with a grin, then dive behind cover, let the massacre begin. Eye of the Cobra, never backs down. Sniper in the night, take him out with just one round. Australian accent, smooth as can be, but his poetry ain't quite what it seems. No morals, no nation, just missions and pay. Blood's just here to ruin your day. Eye of the Cobra, scope never strays. Pulls the trigger and then walks away. Yeah! Yo, Joe, listen up, I got a story to tell about a guy named Logan. Oh, he's so swell, he's the G.I. Joe gamer. Cool and witty, talking about those characters, heroes, and villains at midnight we shout. Yo, Joe, or Cobra, talking about the Joe team and a Cobra tide. Joe's got snake eyes, the silent ninja in black. Quick with his swords, he'll give you a heart attack. Then there's Duke, the leader, so bold, gung-ho, always ready to fight and make those cameos. And we can't forget about Scarlet, the ultimate girl power. A fierce warrior, she'll make her enemies cower. Cobra's got Destro to supply the weapons. Cobra commander plots and schemes, see ruling the world in his dreams. Zartan is never what he seems, and Baron is rocks that black leather outfit. Shoot you quick and slip out the back of the pit. Yo, Joe, Cobra, Logan's here to give his G.I. Joe takes. Oh yeah, yo, Joe, Cobra, talking about the characters, it's a G.I. Joe thing.
Mature content warning. On Logan's Joe Takes, strategic commentary may include strong language, heated opinions, classified references, time to call in the Joes. Opposing forces may attempt audio interference. Logan's Joe Takes. Mission begins now.
Greetings, I'm Christopher Logan Hill, the G.I. Joe Gamer. Today on Joe Takes, we're taking a look at Major Bludd and wrapping up the last of the Cobra Conversion 7. So, Major Bludd from the Hilt. We'll jump right in and talk about the vintage figure. Now, I never had the vintage accessories, so I had to use the stuff from the battle pack because I think somebody just gave me Major Bludd at some point way later. I didn't have him when I first started collecting. I actually think I had the later version in the Sonic Fighters Major Bludd with the big old backpack that made noises before I got this one. But I never really cared for that figure as much, and once I finally acquired this guy, I think my brother had him, and he ended up giving me all his figures at some point because he was too old to collect, even though he was younger than me. I took a bit of Sharpie to him and shined him up a little bit, made all his blacks black, as it were, and I changed the O-ring on this one because it needed it really bad. The leg on this guy is really stiff for some reason, so I'm not really sure what's going on with that. I think I didn't clean up the leg, so maybe that's what it is. But I thought it was a pretty cool figure. I love the arm that I always assumed was for protection against his rocket pistol, and he has these 3 rockets in the backpack here, and so that's what I always thought that was. But according to the classified figure, it's a bit more. So there he is. He's a bit run down, but still intact for a vintage figure. But that's the vintage Major Bludd. Now I do have a 25th anniversary carded example of Major Bludd, and I like how they brought out the dog tags a bit more on him, because he collected dog tags after he killed a soldier, and he claimed he killed a bunch of Joes, but there's nothing confirmed on that one, except for General Flag, which I'm pretty sure that was him and not Scarface, but I would have to double check that in the old comic books, and we can look today to verify that. I happen to have that right here. So, but anyway, it was a decent enough figure. I actually prefer the vintage to this one. It's a lot of the 25th anniversaries I do prefer the vintage to. This happens to be one of them. Some I like the 25th anniversary version better. But that kind of takes us to the box art for this guy. He's number 27 in the series. And then, you have box art here. And I love this box art. A lot of people do. I got a really good picture of this that I used on the promo for this video last Monday. So it'll be near the end of the video as well. And that takes us to the classified figure. Now, the only thing I didn't like about this figure, I don't know if people have a gripe about it, I never could get these dumb missiles to stay in the backpack, so I'm just going to take them off because they're going to fall anyway while we look at this figure. Now, as I was talking about the arm, they definitely made it to be an artificial arm on the classified figure. It is robotic in some way, but you know what, with the bats and everything, he might have had, the reason why he wore that prosthetic part back then is because they didn't have the technology to have a really decent prosthetic, but now he's got one. He's got a really cool pistol that he came with. I know I don't really show off all these accessories, but this one, oh my goodness, this is a hand cannon. I kind of like hand cannons. I don't know why. They're just the concept. Now, he came with that, plus the rocket launching gun actually attaches to his backpack, which is pretty cool. I mean, the rocket snaps right in there, and then he's got his rocket launching gun, which is the way it was in the vintage. So only the missile didn't come out. It does now, but with a figure of this size, if they hadn't been able to make it do that, why? Because then they also put the blast effects in there too. So I haven't done that yet with him because I've got the Vipers 3-pack, so I can check that out. Let me set his accessories aside because there's still a few things I wanted to talk about. He's got these shin guards and metal tips on his boots. So it's pretty cool. We're looking at the dog tags. Like I said, they brought those out in the 25th anniversary, but this is pretty good. I mean, I think they could have done a better job with the classified figure, but that's just me. And his helmet is removable, and that face sculpt is just incredible. I don't know how to say it any other way. Major Bludd. This figure is very well done. I like this figure a lot. So that's the figure. So let's talk about the comics a little bit. I will, like I said, I'll take a quick look at issue 19, which is where General Flag met his demise. And since we're sitting here, we can do stuff. Oh, I'm gonna have to get my cheaters. Sorry, guys. Gotta see what I'm looking at here. I'm pretty sure it happened somewhere near the end. That's where Quinn. That's his demise. Looks like it was not so much in the end here. Where it is? Oh no, he was still a prisoner at this point, so it has to be in here somewhere. I love this old artwork. Larry Hama as the author. There's a lot of the sketches, and so for this, it was pretty cool. It looks like maybe Major Bludd has already escaped at this point, so I keep skipping over it. Oh, there he is. And there it is. Yes, it was Major Bludd. He shot General Flag right in the heart, so that was it. So that's a dog tag he can actually claim, unfortunately. I was pretty sure it was him and not Scarface, but it had been a while since I read that one. Oh, make sure I put this back in the right spot. Yeah, 17. Okay. So, yes, that's a bit of G.I. Joe comic book history. Major Bludd killed the original G.I. Joe commander in the comic books. I like this particular issue right here, where he's lining Snake Eyes up in a scope. Of course, he didn't actually shoot Snake Eyes, but he tried. He tried. Actually, that one he was after someone else, and Snake Eyes kind of got in the way. And I'm pretty sure he got who he was supposed to get. Which was odd, because even after shooting General Flag, the U.S. government hired him for that job. So it's weird the way things work in reality and in story. But Major Bludd, in the comic books, he was kind of like, I don't know, it was weird. He wasn't really part of the hierarchy. He was actually a mercenary, like he was supposed to be. When he first came on the Cobra, he led a few times on the Cobra troops, but for the most part, that wasn't his role. His role was just to do a certain job, and then that was it. He'd get paid to do a job. He had a thing for the Baroness, but who doesn't? You can't blame him. Major Bludd, when him and the Baroness, they got together to conspire against Cobra Commander. They actually tried to get his son Billy to shoot him, and they kind of conditioned Billy to shoot Cobra Commander in front of a crowd, but Destro ended up stopping that, which was funny because he had no idea what their plots were behind the scenes, because he wasn't really that invested in Cobra yet, if he ever really was. But Major Bludd, that was pretty much it after he left in the comics. I mean, he had one little bit where he went and disguised himself as Destro and took over Destro's castle for a little while. And Destro came and took it back, but with the help of Flint and Lady J, ironically enough. That's some good stuff. But then you didn't really see Major Bludd in the comics pretty much until later on, when he showed back up to do that job. Wasn't it? I don't know if he was a big for Larry Hama. I don't know if he was one of his favorite characters or not. For me, Major Bludd, he's in the middle tier of Cobras. I don't remember where he places in my rankings of which Cobras I like the best, but I think he's in the top 20, maybe, or at least top 30. He's, like I said, he's not one of my favorites, but he's a cool character. I thought it'd be a good way to end Cobra Convergence 7 is with Major Bludd showing up to do a job for Destro there. Now in the Sunbow cartoon, it was a little different. He would lead Cobra troops. He was their go-to field commander, and well, as a major, that's what he really should have been. In a lot of ways. I mean, I know he ended up being a mercenary, but Cobra, in the comics, I don't really remember them utilizing him in that capacity as a field leader. Generally, when they were in the field with Major Bludd, either Cobra Commander or Destro or even the Baroness was there, and all three of them definitely outranked Major Bludd in the Cobra hierarchy, no matter what. Excuse me. I still got a bit of a stuffed up nose here this week. But I'm feeling a lot better, that's for sure. I had a rough week last week, but I think I'm getting a little better today, and I'm feeling a lot better for sure. Now, favorite moments in the Sunbow cartoon with Major Bludd, I think one of them was Cobra Stops the World, where he had the Joes all trapped in a... Well, he had Duke and Ace. They got shot down, and he had spoken this indigenous language of these native people in this jungle terrain, and he used them to capture Duke and Ace, and then he went to throw them in a pit of snakes, or pit of vipers maybe, and it turned out he almost got thrown into the pit of vipers, and that was an interesting twist. There was the vipers coming where Destro thought he was the Viper and was beating him up for information. That was kind of interesting, but overall, you know, he was in the major miniseries as a field leader. I don't remember if he was in Pyramid of Darkness, but I know he was in the first two. Definitely in Mass Device, he was their field leader on almost every mission. Not so much in Revenge of Cobra. I mean, he led that one mission to the Temple of Doom, as it were. And he ended up succeeding in that one. He got the whatever the name of that MacGuffin was for that episode. But so Major Bludd actually turned out to be a formidable Cobra to G.I. Joe, and that's what was cool about him. And that is what I like about him. He's a formidable foe. He's not necessarily the standout enemy, not necessarily the standout Cobra villain. He's definitely a Cobra in my eyes, and where I put him in my hierarchy for Cobra is I have a ranking system for Cobras, and the highest military officer rank for Cobras is Commander, and he kind of fills that role. And as much as I like, I have Copperhead in command of the Python Patrol, but he led it for a while, which was kind of neat. I think they had a convention exclusive of Python Patrols there in the early 2000s where Major Bludd was the leader for a little bit, but Copperhead is definitely the Python Patrol commander, in my eyes anyway. But Major Bludd, where to put him? That is the question. I mean, half the time he's plotting against Cobra Commander, half the time he's loyal. In Reissued, the animated G.I. Joe, they put it into a movie, but it used to be internet shorts or mini films. They were like 15 minutes long, 10 to 15 minutes long each, and then they put them all into one movie. And so G.I. Joe Reissued is actually more for adults. And right at the beginning, that Cobra Commander killed Major Bludd for being a traitor or not succeeding is probably closer to the mark. So we saw how Cobra Commander really felt about Major Bludd, but in the comics, Cobra Commander used Major Bludd the way he was supposed to. He was a mercenary. When he needed a job, he called Major Bludd. Major Bludd would do the job. United States would even call Major Bludd to do the job. He'd hire out to just about anyone now, man. That's what made him a real mercenary. In the cartoon, definitely a Cobra operative. He definitely sided with Serpentor when Serpentor took over. And then when he came back in the Deke animated series, he was definitely a Cobra operative again, but I don't remember that series very well, so I can't really comment on that. But I don't think he was a field leader much of that. Just like he was just like there as a Cobra agent, which is how most of them were. So that about sums it up on Major Bludd. I mean, cool Cobra, definitely a cool classified figure. Had to have this when it came out. I didn't have to get lucky. I mean, they had this guy in the Target stores. He was a Target exclusive. So it was a Cobra Island figure. They definitely had him in the stores up here where I live. Cobra Island exclusive. I didn't show the back of this. I like how they targeted like little sections of the island, like where the mission was supposed to be. I guess they never really clarified. Then they have these symbols who, you know, you had to look it up on the website to see. Now they've shut the website down. So, but they still have the symbols on the box art. So it's like, I wonder where they're going to go with that. Are we going to get a decoder book? Maybe if they had a booklet inside. They've got those stupid little warning labels on the inside. Why couldn't they put a little booklet on how to decode the the skills? So instead of a file card, that's what they give us. You know, I prefer the file cards, and in the artwork near the end of the video, I will have his file card in there for you to check out. So that kind of sums up how I feel about Major Bludd, and I could probably talk G.I. Joe all day today, and I'm feeling pretty good. So with that all being said about Major Bludd, Logan out.
From the outback to the battlefield, he's fought for flags and burned them too. One eye on the prize, one hand on the trigger. Major Bludd, mercenary commander, Cobra's enforcer. You don't hire him to win. You hire him to finish it. Down in the shadows, a mercenary's calling with a mechanical arm and a knife patch so enthralling. Major Bludd's a name, Cobra's his game. He's a sniper in the night, ready to take aim. Eye of the Cobra, never backs down. Sniper in the night, take him out with just one round. Australian accent, smooth as can be, but his poetry ain't quite what it seems. From SAS to the Legion, he's bled across the map. Process server by day, nighttime brings the trap. Wanted on charges from Libya to reduce. G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained special mission force. Its purpose to defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
Let's get it done. Cobra, Major Bludd, mercenary commander, file name, Sebastian Bludd, birthplace, Sydney, Australia. Primary specialty, terrorism and assassination. Secondary specialty, weapons and tactics, demolitions, military advising and process serving. Bludd received his initial training with the elite Australian Special Air Service Regiment, later volunteering for the French Foreign Legion, where he served with distinction in North Africa. Disillusioned with command structures and hungry for profit, he went rogue, offering his talents to the highest bidder. He has served as a military advisor for unstable regimes, executed high-value political assassinations. and orchestrated sabotage operations across multiple continents. Bludd is currently wanted in at least 7 countries for war crimes, terrorism, and unlawful combatant activity. Highly proficient with every form of modern infantry weapon, he combined battlefield skill with a ruthless tactical mind. His cyber-enhanced right arm,
armor-plated prosthetic in some sources,
is a grim reminder of a failed betrayal attempt that only made him more dangerous.
From General Hawk's files, Bludd is charismatic, sadistic, and utterly pragmatic. He views loyalty as a commodity and has no qualms switching sides if the pay is right.
Though Cobra has so far provided both the resources and targets he craves, he's notorious for reciting crude war poems of his own invention before battle or during executions.
Major Bludd writes poetry badly. When you're feeling low and woozy, slap a fresh clip in your Uzi. Assume the proper firing stance and make the suckers jump and dance.
Gone. A little bats.
Have we?
From the outback to the battlefield, he's fought for flags and burned them too. One eye on the prize, one hand on the trigger. Major Bludd, mercenary commander, Cobra's enforcer. You don't hire him to win. You hire him to finish it.
Down in the shadows, a mercenary's calling with a mechanical arm and a knife patch so enthralling. Major Bludd's a name, Cobra's his game. He's a sniper in the night, ready to take aim. Eye of the Cobra, never backs down. Sniper in the night, take him out with just one round. Australian accent, smooth as can be, but his poetry ain't quite what it seems. From SAS to the Legion, he's bled across the map. Process server by day, nighttime brings the trap. Wanted on charges from Libya to Reissued, but catching blood, that's pure amnesia. Boom! He's got verses that rhyme and a heart full of lead. Read sonnets at night about the battles he's bled. Slap a clip in your Uzi, he says with a grin. Then dive behind cover, let the massacre begin. Eye of the Cobra, never backs down. Sniper in the night, take him out with just one round. Australian accent, smooth as can be, but his poetry ain't quite what it seems. No morals, no nation, just missions and pay. Blood's just here to ruin your day. Eye of the Cobra, scope never strays. Pulls the trigger and then walks away. Yeah! Logan's room full of Joe take dreams. Crimson Guard with eyes on the team. Snake Eyes silent and mean, but tough to rile. Roadblock rhymes and cooks with style. Duke as the first shirt, making with a plan. Cobra commander schemes with his clan. Scarlet sharp hits hard, flips fast. Destro's armor gleams from the past. Logan's G.I. Joe takes fierce and honest view. Red versus blue, it's up to you. Stay a while and listen for the consumerism. Logan's G.I. Joe's takes given with enthusiasm. Zartan shifting sneaks in disguise. Storm Shadow's blade cut through lies. Baron is cold with her deadly
battle cry echoes near. General Hawk leads, we cheer. From the hilt on YouTube, tune in for a day. Joe takes to help you with your play. Let's put these characters to the test. Logan's the G.I. Joe gamer, plays it best. Yo, Joe, Cobra, let's go. Let's go. Logan's G.I. Joe takes fierce and honest view.